Traitor to the Republic! Murderer of Romans! Enemy of the people! I have had your co-conspirators arrested, and they are patiently waiting for their moment of execution. But my own patience is wearing thin. I know villains like you do not have a sense of honor or virtue. Nevertheless, I know you were at least born Roman. If you have a speck of honor left, confess and surrender.
Consul, what are you doing? You can't publicly execute people without trial. Our laws forbid such despotism.
As dictator, prescription is well within my rights. The people of Rome saw fit to grant me that power. Who are you to question the wisdom of the people? As long as Rome remains in crisis, I shall remain dictator. Your traitor friends are rightfully apprehended. If you want them, you'll have to go through me. It clearly isn't. You are still alive, aren't you? You always worked against me, when the only thing I wanted was to build a strong Rome. Just like your father, you are envious of what I will achieve. Great works are built on bloodshed. Sacrifices must be made.
Then make your sacrifice yourself, coward.
Unless your intention is to bore me to death, I would like to start executing these criminals.
This is horseshit! Those people are heroes!
They've done nothing wrong! Let them go!
You have lost your control, Lurko. Look at the faces of these people, your fellow citizens. They're afraid.
Only criminals and traitors should be afraid of me.
They're afraid of what you have turned the Republic into. That fear will turn into anger the moment anyone decides to stand up and protect the Republic.
You're a good tactician. Consider your position now. Your prisoners are the only advantage you possess. But they're only valuable while they're still alive. The Legatus can wait until you turn yourself into a murderer.
Or we can simply kill you and save them all. Then you will have achieved nothing here.
You wouldn't do that. You're men of law and order.
Your loyalty is admirable.
Believe me, I don't want to die. But I also don't want to see you dead. Don't let him kill us like this. Whatever comes next, we will stand by your side. We will weather the storm as one.
Don't do it, my friend. If you strike him down now, you'll give him legitimate cause to kill you. We are not worth that sacrifice. It's not for nothing. It's for everything.
Enough! Make your decision. As you wish. Who shall we take first?
If you must kill someone, take me. I will gladly lay down my life to save my friends.
Don't do it! This isn't justice!
I decide what is just. Execute him.
You piece of shit, Loco! Kaiser had done nothing wrong. He was a good man.
A traitor to the Republic has been brought to justice. I truly wonder what you will do now. I'm a man of my word. Effectuated by whom? I'm dictator in perpetuo. I rule this city.
Atrocity!
What's next? Will you have Pompeius executed too?
Calm yourselves! People of Rome, I am you. Don't you understand? A firm hand is what the Republic needs!
Despot! Tyrant! Down with him!
Get him! Put him down from there!
Get me out of here! Just get me out!
You're on your own, consul!
Coward!
Webius Vitellius Lurco, you're not going anywhere! Throw yourself at the mercy of the Senate!
You can't do this! You don't have the authority! Don't you dare!
That is a style of rhetorics I can get behind.
You won. My friend, you did it.
I'm sure you have a lot to talk about. It is good to see you up and about, though. You look better.
Such things are natural. You've been tested physically and mentally. Furthermore, you've triumphed over your opponent. He has been stripped of his title and office.
Small consolation to Kaizo's family.
A meaningful death is more than any soldier could hope for.
Lurco will certainly be exiled, or even executed. The Senate doesn't have a high opinion of traitors. Obviously, you will have to testify. I know. You paid a heavy price to keep it that way.
If you will forgive me for bringing this up, I believe this will be good for your political career. Not senator, no. Not as a woman. But that doesn't mean there's no place for you in politics. As far as the Senate is concerned, you are a tragic hero who brought a corrupt consul to justice. Your voice is greatly respected now in all layers of our society.
Cato is right. Both the optimates and the populares admire you. And you have won the love of the people as well. Even without an official position, you hold great power in Rome.
I have no doubts.
You did save them. Those who remain alive have you to thank for it. This chapter ends and another chapter begins. Fortuna alone knows what the future holds.
So ends the abridged history of the most singularly revered woman in the history of Rome. It is thanks to her and her efforts to thwart the corruption and ambition of Vitellius Lurco that Rome remains a proud republic to this day. With her friends gathered around her and her loyal allies working for her in the Senate, she spent the rest of her life addressing the many problems that had plagued the republic since its birth. Her tireless efforts to promote democracy and strengthen the voices of the people greatly improved life throughout the provinces of Rome. In time, the savior of the Republic took her well-deserved place in history among such heroes as Cincinnatus or Scipio Africanus. Cineros. Once he had been an athlete, a wrestler, and a troublemaker. But in our story, he was a servus, a protector, and a mentor. He had died diligently performing the task to which he had devoted himself, protecting his ward. Cineros was given a tomb in Rome's finest cemetery, next to his old dominus, whose death had incited this story. Though his death had been unexpected, he met his end with dignity and resolve. He had received forgiveness and, after a fashion, vindication for the mistakes of his youth. He was missed by all those who knew him. Caeso had always known that his would be a bloody, violent end, but he could not have foreseen the singular importance his death would play in saving the republic he had always served. Never has a common soldier been named as a hero of the republic, and have that honor ring quite so true. His funeral was attended by hundreds of men who had served beneath or beside him, most of whom, in one way or another, owed him their lives. Perhaps all this was small consolation to his daughter, who had to grow up without a father. But at least she and her mother were well cared for by all the people who were proud to have called Caeso, Quinctius, Aquilinus their friend. Callida had been redeemed in the eyes of the law, and so she was able to stay in Rome and remain close to her friends. She settled into her new life surprisingly well, now that she was able to live it on her own terms. She was not in any great hurry to find a husband. Instead, she worked with her brother Aulus, who she forgave for not standing up to their parents. And with her talent for subterfuge and cunning, their family business thrived. Bestia stayed in Rome and remained close friends with his old companions, going out of his way to stay in touch with them all, no matter the distance that separated them. He returned to the arena, but no longer as a gladiator. His new vocation was to teach Pancration, inspired by the story of his old magister Cineros. Though it brought him little wealth, there is no doubt it made him happy. As soon as things had quieted down, Bestia traveled to Africa once more to look for his sister. He did find her and bring her home, and she lived happily there for the rest of her life. Once everything had settled down, Deianira returned to her homelands in Scythia, where she reconnected with her family. She brought some of them with her back to Rome, where they settled into a life of luxury. Though they would never feel quite at home in the city, they found that it was much easier to be outsiders together than alone. Deianira always remained loyal to her friends. Claudiana lived for many more years. She had many friends in Rome, and her life was peaceful and comfortable until her final days. On her deathbed, she revealed that she had once been very close indeed with Lucullus, and that indeed the true family name of her children was Liciniia. Cato remained an important figure in Roman politics, grudgingly respected even by those among the population who desired change. He remained a defender of the patrician class, a shield against the pandering and opportunism of more populist voices. He himself was elected consul twice throughout his life, and his years in the position were generally favorably regarded. Cicero served one more year as consul before his retirement. In his old days, he lived a quiet life on a farm in Sicily, where he was greatly beloved by the people for his time as quaestor. He continued to write many books on politics and law. Defeated once more by Rome, Mithridates escaped to the lands north of the Black Sea in the hope that he could raise a new army. But the locals soon rebelled against his rule. Incapable of taking his own life by poison, in the end, Mithridates died by the sword of his bodyguard. With Zenobia in charge of Musia, it became once more a peaceful part of the Roman province of Asia Minor. With her focus on trade and strong ties to the neighboring regions, her people enjoyed a period of great prosperity. Grateful for the mercy he had been shown, and no longer with Mithridates to tempt his greed, Damianos quickly resumed political leadership of Thracia. Here, the gladiator rebellion that had started in his school was threatening to spiral out of control. Thanks to Darnianos, the gladiators were pacified quickly and without inordinate bloodshed. Lunya's death sent Nazarmanes spiraling into a fractious conflict as greedy elders from minor tribes attempted to fill the void her passing had left behind. Though Queen Cleopatra attempted to bring the region under control, her attentions were too divided, the conflict too great for her to manage. Rome was forced to send more legions to enforce peace and stability with an iron fist. Though Africa Proconsularis eventually saw peace again, the traditions and culture of the Berber population were lost forever. Queen Cleopatra Philopator was, from the day of her coronation, a greatly beloved Queen of Egypt. Revered and admired by the population, she spent many of her days traveling up and down the Nile to visit her subjects and address their troubles and concerns. Under her rule, Egypt remained a powerful and prosperous nation and a strong ally of Rome. The fruits of the Nile flowed freely to the people of the Republic. After traveling all across Africa for many years, going wherever her instincts took her, Rhea eventually returned to Memphis and to the service of Tener at the Temple of Ubasti. When her mentor passed away, Rhea naturally assumed the mantle as High Priestess of the Cat Goddess. Though the old faith was dwindling, she was greatly beloved by many, and her temple prospered, always home to many cats. With Diwydiachus once more assuming rulership of the Aedui, the tribe maintained a strong alliance with Rome, and through it, they greatly prospered. With the aid of the Aedui, Gallia slowly unified under Roman rule, and civilization soon began to creep into those lands in the form of paved roads, aqueducts, and fortified Roman towns. In his old age, did the Druid ever regret hastening the absorption and suppression of his own faith and culture? We will never know. The once proud and strong Arverni were greatly reduced by the defeat of Vercingetorix, but his survival gave them hope. His will to make war upon Rome had been crushed, but he remained a strong figure of leadership among his people, even despite his failures. With his guidance, the tribes of Gallia remained unified and somewhat at peace, and vestiges of their culture and traditions survived their gradual subjugation under Rome. In this work, I have done my best to recount the history of this fascinating period, truthfully and accurately. As I have scoured the sources and spoken to many who claimed to have heard the story from someone who was there at the time, one thing that has stood out to me is the pivotal moments along the way where our story could have turned out very differently. In her darkest moods, the savior of Rome must have wondered if there was anything she could have done differently to save her friends. Perhaps if she had struck down Vitellius Lurco on that stage, or if she had gone so far as to bring her legion across the Rubicon, none of her companions would have had to die. But for those of us left to live in a peaceful and strong republic, what transpired seems like the best possible outcome. Our republic was saved, and the villain, Vitellius Lurco, was brought to justice. One should always take care when second-guessing historical figures with the benefit of hindsight. Here in the present, there will never truly be a way for you to know how you might have acted if you had lived in the past. Nor can you ever be certain how history will remember you.